All right, well, welcome everybody. Our first bargaining session for the corrections lieutenants. And so, Kyle, I see that you have a proposal for us. And so why don't you go ahead and just kind of walk us through the changes you're looking to make?
All right, well, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, because pay is their biggest issue.
Sure.
And feel free, guys, to jump in anytime that I misrepresent. Now, we've done a big ask on the pay raise, but if you look at this page right here, you will see that according to, this study was done by the IUPA Home Office over in Sarasota, and what they're coming up with is our current wage for the regional area is these guys are down about $30,000 on their pay comparable to other lieutenants and other agencies. Admittedly, the only one that's not run by the sheriff's office is Osceola. They're run by the county council also.
Orange.
I'm sorry, Orange County.
Orange and Osceola.
Yeah, Orange and
with the
Osceola,
county.
right. We obviously would like the county council to review making the sheriff the chief correctional officer of the county, which is by statute is in the purview of the county council, and turning over Director DeMoore and his people over to the sheriff's office rather. But we're negotiating with you guys because obviously that's not something that's happening like right now, nor do I think that you guys have marching orders to agree to that right now, although we would like that looked at. If you go to the second page with lieutenants' average wages, you'll again see that the lieutenants' average wages for Volusia County and the corrections division is considerably below the other agencies. They're at the lowest on the totem pole. And feel free to run your own numbers on this, because
Sure.
if there's something that's different, obviously I'd like to bring it up. Then you go to the third page, you get the wages per 100,000 residents.
Hey, Kyle, do you have, like so far in the wage versus regional average, do you have and I assume this is based on the starting pay?
This is based on
the first page.
Oh, what's that? It's the average pay. It's the average pay of the lieutenants here. And if you look at...
So when you say average pay, I mean, is that actual average? Like
Yes.
So somebody went ahead and got them to provide all of the salaries?
Yes. That's my understanding, and that's the membership here's understanding.
Okay. I mean, the only thing with that is that doesn't tell us the longevity of the folks that are there, which would have an impact. And I don't know, maybe that would work in our benefit, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know how that falls.
That truly is
Yeah.
possible. These people
Right.
are all very new and, comparatively. Who's the longest one of y'all running as a lieutenant?
Johnson, Gallicamp, Brown, me, and then I think you got.
And how long have you been?
I've been a lieutenant for 10 years.
All right, I mean, 10 years, that's still a pretty substantial length of time as a lieutenant.
Sure, and I'm not, I don't know how those numbers would shake out. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Have you all looked at it from the standpoint of the entry pay for the lieutenants, or is that really even something that's relevant from the standpoint is I don't know how often folks, when they promote to lieutenant, go to the min as opposed to promoting into the range?
Well, that's a problem too, but I'm more interested to see if we can fix what we have right now, with the lieutenants. And as far as pay goes, for starting salary, I mean, people want to be able, obviously it should be above your mainstream sergeants, but,
But I think we do, what do we do here, 18% or something?
No, that's
Or, no, I'm sorry, that's
5%.
5%?
yeah, and that's, I mean, I got 15% in 2010 from going from officer to sergeant. So that was a street agency, but when I made sergeant with the state, I got 7.5%.
Got it.
And as an inspector, I was drawing captain salary, so I was equivalent to captain. So I mean, there's things that could be done, and if this other page we got for you just is to show you This has all the administrators' pays in the county. It shows you how they are compared to surrounding agents or surrounding counties. And the second page has the lieutenant's percentage of what, like the range. Right now, the closest one is Johnson at 48% of the range. And you see Talamotes has 10 years as a lieutenant, he's at 30% of the range. So, I mean, you can have a range that makes us all millionaires or them, but if they don't have an obtainable way to get it, it's really kind of moot.
Yeah, it kind of shows the disparity with all the directors in the county making 50% and plus through their pay range salary. And all of our people are, none of our people are even at 50. And most of them are at 1% at the minimum.
Now, again, the 1% people, I will give you this, they are very new for the most part, but still, I mean, Haldy's been a lieutenant since I've had the unit, almost 4 years now, and he's still at 1%. Oh, what's that? He has 20 years as a CA, yeah. So, do you guys have anything else you want to say about the wages? Because we haven't got to the actual numbers yet.
I'll wait till we get to the numbers.
Okay. Sorry, that's going to be a little bit down there. I just wanted to preempt you with why I gave you this stuff.
No, that's fine.
Where do we have the first changes? Okay. On the 4.01, which is Article 4 Personnel Records, we would like the employee to get one duplicate copy of their personnel file for free, at least one time. You guys, obviously may make it, I think it would be understanding if you were to restrict that a little bit as far as like how many times you can get it. You don't want the guy going in there and burning up all your bin of paper every 30 days, but I mean, once a year prior to promotions, before retirement, they turn in a 2-week resignation because they're going to go work at a higher paid agency. They'd like to get that stuff, and it's important because I'm not saying it happens here, but I've seen a lot of times where stuff has been floated in the personnel files later. Or people have multiple personnel files and they all cache it at one point, even though we're not supposed to do that anymore. You may continue?
Yeah.
Next page we have it is 10, which is dues deductions. We're saying it shall be the responsibility of the union to notify the county manager as designee of any changes in the dues amount to be deducted. And formerly it had 45 days. We're asking it to be changed to 30 days. We still have the responsibility of notifying.
Understand.
Next one, let's see. Article 9, I'm sorry. Okay. Article 8. 804A, guys, it's one section, provide, vacation shall be selected on a basis of seniority preference in accordance with the division's policy therein. And they want this portion struck, provided, however, that the division shall retain the right to disregard seniority preferences in the event that it becomes necessary to do so in order to provide adequate coverage in certain specialized areas. If they're putting it in at the beginning of the year, you guys can project out, management can project out how much they need to arrange people. It's not really good for them when you start pulling their, vacations or what have you.
So has this resulted in actual problems?
Joe?
What's that?
Has this resulted in actual problems?
Not that I'm aware of. Not yet.
Okay.
The only instances when we're approved and it's a trouble call.
Okay.
So,
All right.
next one, let's see. Article 9,
it was a late approval, not an annual approval. So one lieutenant was already scheduled on annual, another lieutenant that put over time off and was incorrectly approved, so you didn't have to do those days back after approval.
Got it. But the thing is that by striking this language, you're trying to avoid a situation like that where somebody has the approval and then you have somebody come later and wants to take that as well, and the department says, well, we can't let you both off because of some specialized needs.
Essentially.
Yes. It's not a, we're not gonna die on that particular hill on that, but we certainly, you know, we wanna fight about it a little bit, you know, we understand, so. Next is page 13.
Yeah.
This is Article 9, Rules and Regulations. Basically, we want to change the 7 days to 14 days. In 901 and in 902. Basically, I know that Director Demore would like to have them approved faster by us and reviewed faster. We need more time because of me getting it, them passing it around, and having time to review it with days off, nighttime, and then other, you know, activities that they may or may not have.
So I understand 901 about giving you more time by changing it from 7 to 14.
Yes, sir.
But in 902, basically that would then have us sending it out to all of the folks before you've had, as a union, have had a chance to weigh in and to engage in request impact bargaining, engage in impact bargaining. Should we really be sending what is essentially, at that point, a draft to the members before you all, as a union, have had an opportunity to weigh in on it?
The draft part is the 01.
Right, and 02 is,
02 is when it gets implemented.
right, but it says you're saying you want to change it so that we have to send it out to the bargaining unit employees 14 days before it's put in effect.
Correct.
So what actually may be put in effect may change, because the whole reason why you're asking for 14 days is so that the union would have an opportunity to say, hey, we want to sit down and talk about this stuff. And we may end up actually, through those discussions and through impact bargaining, we may change it. And so essentially we're sending out something to the troops that isn't necessarily going to go into effect the way it's written.
14 days for a review period.
Right, that's 01.
01.
Right, but if, look at what you put in 02. You added that we would send out to each employee a copy of it 14 days before it's put in effect. So essentially we're sending a draft. to them.
Well, no. After it's approved, after it's been illegal, it's all been good to
No,
go.
it says before. The thing is,
Before it's implemented, put into effect. So that everyone has a chance to read it and understand it, and it's been briefed, it's in, do you have DMS yet? You know,
Yeah.
so they have it, they can read it and understand it.
maybe I'm not being clear on this because
Okay.
because what it says up top is that it says a copy of the new or amended rule regulation blah 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 shall be provided to the union at least 14 calendar days before its intended date of implementation. So we
Right.
send it to you 14 days before its implementation. So were you saying that, let's say that you turn around and, let's say we ended up meeting on the 10th day.
Okay.
We discuss it, we make a tweak to it. Are you saying that thereafter, we can't put it in effect until another 14 days passes?
That's what we're asking for, so everyone is briefed and notified of it. Not saying that you guys can't start saying, hey, you have to do, this is the new procedure that we're gonna follow and what we're gonna do. But before you start disciplining people, make sure that they've all signed off on it, it's been through the system, it's been briefed. Just so everyone knows about it, it's not a surprise. If there's other language or information that you would like to put forward on that, we'll certainly listen to that.
All right, I understand now.
10 union business. They would like to change 1002 to increase it to 2 IUPA representatives. can attend these meetings without loss of pay for the county council. And 10.03, they also want to increase it to 2 representatives. And further on, they want to be able to do public records requests pertaining to that union business while on duty.
So basically saying that 2 IUPA representatives could make public records requests pertaining to the union?
Yeah, while on duty. I mean, I've given everybody my passcodes and said they can all do it all day long under my stuff, but they still refuse to do that, so.
Okay.
You know.
I understand.
If we go over to 12, where it's the grievance and arbitration procedure, you're not the only agency that we're asking this about. If we look at the steps, the only people that, the only person here that can really do anything with any of this grievance stuff, the lowest level is the director. So Director DeMoore is the only one that can he's making the decision on discipline or however things are done. So the first step in any kind of grievance for this should go to him. There's no point, from my point of view, of like sending a grievance to a lieutenant or a captain or a warden who's gonna kick it, say, hey, I can't do anything with this, I gotta kick it upstairs or run it by whoever. Let's just start with the person who can actually fix it. And obviously, in step 3, instead of, we've cut out the ward and then the division, the division director, and just go straight to the public protection director. And
So, all right, so first and foremost, you're striking the language from 1202.
oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah. So, I guess, like, why are we striking that first sentence?
Because we don't want to be held to a timeline on when we can put the grievance in.
But you are held to a timeline. I mean, it says you have to take it up within 10 calendar days. Or actually, it says 10 calendars right now. It says you wanted to change it to 10 employee workdays.
Right.
So, I mean, there is,
Increasing the time.
For that, I'd even entertain a set 14 days or something. What happens is with 10 days, we came across this during the holiday time period when people weren't around for me to get the information from and for them to actually start the process. And we wound up being very close to the 10 days, or I have to start doing stuff like calling up and saying, hey, Joe, do you mind if we extend this or whatever? Can we do do this thing? And I'm not saying that we wouldn't do it, and I've always given you guys extensions. I'd never not give you an extension.
well, because I was going to ask you is that you changed it in step 1, but we still have calendar days in step 2 and step 3.
I would like to go with, me personally, I would like it to reflect all the same things, so we're not looking through here trying to figure it out. I like calendar days, but that's obviously something that we need to go. We didn't get all your, well, we did get the strike-throughs and make them in nice colors. We obviously did not proofread enough to have that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The thing is that they're thinking it probably should be consistent. I guess my only concern with just saying 10 employee workdays, it's like, well, which employee? And if it's the grieving employee, what happens if it's the union that's filing the grievance and not an individual employee? Like here's the thing, I just don't want to be in a position where after this contract goes into effect, we're fighting over how you calculate the days. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So the thing is, if we put in there employee work days, if a union's filing a class action grievance on behalf of all the employees, how do we figure out that? And so, again, I'm not saying that necessarily opposed to changing this, but we just need to come up with something that is going to be easy to calculate.
What's a fair number for you? What do you think?
Well, I think everybody's saying 10 right here. Is that I just think it's,
Yeah.
the question is that whether it's calendar days, whether it's, county work days, whether it's,
Well, if we're gonna stick with,
Business days? We do 10 business days.
that would be fine, whatever business days the county is
we'll
open.
talk, we can talk about it.
Yeah. And the rest of it's just basically consolidating the, who we're gonna talk to. Again, I just can't see a point of going and talking to a lieutenant over, something that only the director can fix. Again, we have the same problem when we go over to 12.03. So that would be, that's all information that we gotta consolidate. I don't think anything else has changed until we get to 12.10. For this on 12.10, the big thing with this one is, it mainly comes to people on probation, where, they're on probation, you guys can just say, hey, it's not you, it's me, and terminate their employment without any reasoning. Once you start add reasoning in there, like you're late, you're dishonest, you've done some policy violation. Now these guys got a liberty interest in their name. So that's why they want to be able to grieve that. So if you just continue to terminate people based upon your own probation, this is not going to be an issue that comes up, unless it's like pay or something. But as far as discipline, which is mainly what we're worried about here.
I'm just curious, and look, I perfectly understand, why I understand what you're trying to do in 12.10, and I understand 12.11. We've had conversations with this, about this before, but I am just kind of curious if we terminated any probationary lieutenants.
No, but it has, you have not.
Right. No, I mean, I understand why you're proposing this. I was just kind of curious as to what the experience has been.
I think they've extended some.
Yes, with two of them, one of them's no longer with the agency. Guys, don't let me steal your thunder if I'm like misspeaking. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
and.
there's a change in 12.12 on page 20.
Yes.
You guys have all that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, we've discussed that before.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Yeah,
thing.
and 12, and page 20, I understand that one as well.
Okay.
Good on 20, Joe?
No, I understand it.
Yeah.
That's what. You tried, Joe, I appreciate it. Believe me, I appreciate it.
Article 14, hours of work and overtime. Basically, what this came about because there was a restriction on how long the lieutenants could be there, and they don't believe that they have time enough to brief their.
Wait, before you
Okay.
go there, Kyle,
Yes.
I think there's a change on page 21.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We haven't highlighted it. If you.
Yeah, actually, I think it might have just been a mistake, because if you look on about 3/4 the way down on 1301, if you look on the left-hand side, there's force was stricken through. The strike through doesn't make sense. I don't know
No,
if that
it
was
doesn't.
intentional.
Yeah, it's the workforce, personnel, however you want to label them.
Are
That's a
you
mistake.
saying? Excellent. Good catch, thank you.
All right, so we're good on that one. All right, so this came about because the lieutenants don't believe that they can adequately brief their counterparts coming on shift, and that could possibly lead to a gap in information. So maybe there's a problem in an inmate, maybe there's somebody who's been in and out about suicide, or someone that appeared to be under the influence of drugs, whatever it is. They don't believe that they can adequately pass on information the way it is now. So they're asking to go to 12.25 hours a day, or 12.25 hours in a day. And that's basically what it explains in that first one, 1402. Is there anything else with
Yeah,
that?
we've actually been instructed by administration to violate our own post orders and leave without being properly relieved. And that's been a problem that's been addressed several times to both the director and the public protection director. And the answer's been, just leave when you're supposed to leave, and I guess it'll figure itself out. So we want to actually make sure, that we give a proper pass on and our relief is there before we leave, so we can, inform them of any ongoings and make sure the building is actually staffed with a shift commander before we actually exit for the day. We haven't been able to do that in a while now.
Okay, understand.
And if that's not possible, or it's a flat rejection later on, we would like the post orders and the policies to reflect the fact that they're to leave at their time, so they are not held accountable for that. Obviously, you guys also need to realize, I'm sure that the director can see this. If you're engaged in a barricade subject, a use of force, an ongoing issue, that person's got to stay there until they leave. But on a normal day, we just want our guy covered, however you guys wind up doing it. On this, there's all bargaining unit employees will be paid overtime after 80 productive hours in the pay period. Something they're really pushing for is 80 hours, and with 4 hours it would basically be 4 hours or plus of built-in overtime in an 80-hour cycle. I know that's not currently how it is. That's what they're asking.
Yeah, no, this was the progression of the negotiations from the last contract. Understood.
In 1403, they would like to have taken out, nothing herein shall restrict the county or division from altering work schedules or making any other action to reduce the number of overtime or call out work by the employees covered by this agreement. I understand this is in management rights. I think what they're trying to avoid is sudden changes in scheduling or without what they consider proper notifications.
Have we been doing that?
Have they been complying with that?
As far as changing our work schedule?
Yes.
They changed us from being able to do proper pass outs. So I guess you could say yes in that instance.
Okay, but other than that,
So if we come down here to 1404, under its vacation time scheduling, they want 7 days in advance for overtime calculations, as opposed to 14 days. And holidays occurring while an employee is on personal leave or on bereavement leave will be paid holiday pay and will be included for the purposes of overtime calculations. Somebody has already put in advance for their time off and it's been approved, just use it for that. The bereavement leave, they didn't plan on being out. They didn't plan on people dying. And people react to that differently. So do you guys have anything else on those, one of those?
I think a lot of it's kind of like holidays, we have to be off on the holidays, but just because you're off and work's not completed, which could lead to a time later in the week, but then now that's standard pay, because the holidays and that pay period is all not at the time.
you've chosen to take the holiday.
Sir?
But you've chosen to take the holiday. I understand.
Not the admin employees. They're forced to take it off.
Oh, so this is for the admin employees, okay.
Well, it's for all of us, because if we choose to take a holiday off as a vacation day, like the other union has it where they get charged a vacation day but paid for the holiday. And that's how we would like ours to reflect also.
Got it. So you're seeking to change this so it comports with the lower unit
Not necessarily.
collective bargaining
We just
agreement?
want it that way for us.
So the lower unit doesn't have it that way?
They do, but that's not why we're doing it.
No, but I'm saying is that if we changed it, it would be then consistent between both
It would
units.
be, yes.
Say that again,
He's saying that that's how we do it for the A unit.
that they're charged for the holiday, charged for personal leave and
Yeah.
the holiday? They're not charged for personal leave on the holiday.
So they're charged for personal day and they get paid for the holiday pay.
They're not charged for the personal day. They just get paid the holiday pay.
They get paid for the holiday and they get a free day off or something? We want that too.
So the way it works, so they end up paying, if you're an employee, it's only going to use 0.25 of your personal leave.
You get the holiday off and paid for the holiday? Correct. That's what I'm saying.
You don't get paid for it.
They get paid for it. They do.
Just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Obviously, that's gonna take some.
yeah, we'll look at it.
Article 15, leaves of absence. First thing is in 1502 approval, they would like to change 6 months to 12 months. Is a not to exceed number.
Any specific reason?
Just protect our people. It's the only reason.
And that's just, that's the same thing that's reflected in 1504. And I think we're all talking about corrections, and that's who this contract covers, so they just wanted to take out the other division and department. I mean, it's all corrections. I'm ambivalent about that particular language. And in the 1505, all they've done is change these 6 months to 12 months and the 90-day period to 180 days. And the changes, again, with the work, the same class, with substantially the same working conditions and the same, I think they're worried about just getting like a complete change where they're being paid the same as lieutenant, but they're, within the division, but they're not actually fulfilling their former role. This isn't like USERA where you have to put them back, so does anybody have any comments on this?
We just want to make sure our position's protected, that's all.
Okay. If we come down to 1509, this is the first ask. It's gonna be some money, or a substantial amount of money. The membership is asking that the county pay for both the employee share and the county share of the group insurance premiums. Which again kind of brings us back to one of the reasons why they are interested in having the sheriff's office take over, is because it's a constitutional office and he's paying for his people with that.
Has the sheriff indicated he wants corrections?
Oh, no, I've talked to Mike several times and he does not want corrections, but it's not. And I don't really want to, I have a great deal of respect for him. I worked for him for 10 years. But this is one of those things that's a county council's call with making him the chief correctional officer, and we're trying to represent the best we can for our people.
I understand.
And then at 1514 is the next one, and basically it allows the 2 lieutenants to be allowed to be off. There's supposed to be 3 per shift. It's allowed 2 of them to be off at a time. 15, 14?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's not 3 lieutenants on a shift, well, I mean, that's kind of a moot point, but if in an ideal world where everything is fully staffed, you know, they would like to have 2 of them off. Under Article 17, they have struck out 1701, 02, and 03, and replaced it with a new 1701. Basically that they have to, you know, since they can't use tobacco products and they got to take a physical agility test, which is besides fire and police, I don't think anyone else in the county's doing physical agility tests. They're just asking that you guys pay for that stuff, which is going to be the second monetary ask.
So let me just make sure I'm writing this down.
Okay.
So your position is that the county should pay for the bargaining unit employees' health insurance because they have to take a physical agility test?
Part of it, yeah, they can't use tobacco products, so, you know, where the rest of the county can do that, and,
Yeah, but the rest of the county doesn't fall under the statutory workers' comp presumptions.
right.
So we're not the same. That's the point.
Their point is it has an effect on insurance premiums.
Okay.
Now, if we go over to Article 18, before I get into this, even if you were to fully implement their current ask, which is in Article 18 wages, if you were to implement their entire ask here, they, at the end of this 3-year contract, they would still just come up to the median for all the rest of the surrounding counties that we pointed out. So just keep that in mind of why they asked it like this. So what they would like is they would like to receive a 33% increase for the first year, first full pay period ending or after October 1st. And it breaks it down here for 33% the first year, 24% the second year, and 16% the third year.
So is that 63%?
Yeah, over 3 years. Obviously, we have room to talk on those numbers, but as you know, they're still going to be at the very bottom of, still going to be at just the median of all these counties. They are also asking for continuation of the retention bonus, which would, that's open to discussion based upon what the offer is on wages. Your counter offer would be on wages.
So you realize your timing on this is really bad.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I understand that, perceiving it is really bad, yeah, because of but I also, we also have the information that corrections is given back between 18 and $13 million to the county in the past, 3 to 5 years. At least that's the information that I've been given. So I don't want to push back or argue with, you, Jeff, or, but the thing is, if we had probably boosted the numbers up a little bit along the way, we wouldn't be here at this point arguing about it. I certainly wouldn't deliver a 60-something% ask on the first, on this contract. As a matter of fact, it's all I could do not to get choked out by my attorney, but, just wanted to,
Yeah, and look, I haven't looked at the numbers. I'm not commenting on whether or not, these are good numbers, bad numbers, or otherwise. I'm just, the timing, if I'm allowed to say sucks, I'm gonna say sucks, from the standpoint of what the legislature just did. I mean, it's just,
but these guys should, according to what I've read, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I've seen all these various articles, law enforcement and, like public safety is not supposed to be impacted.
they didn't, unfortunately, they pulled that from the governor's initial proposal. So the governor's initial proposal would have held public safety and education harmless. The governor pulled all of that, and then what happened was there was an amendment, and they put back in the protection for education, but they didn't put it back in for public safety. And so the problem is that we're potentially facing, what, $93 million? First year. In the first year of it. And again, look, not your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying, look, there's, unfortunately, from a timing standpoint, is that the governor's office and the legislature have done something, that depending upon what happens in November, potentially changes the entire landscape, not only for us, but for everybody else out there.
Well, a couple things on that. And again, this is, I understand what you're saying. Corrections budget has given back money to the county. There's also, I would suggest that the county should probably look at doing some restructuring. Everybody see office space, bring in the Bobs, efficiency experts, because I think that sending them over to the sheriff's office would probably get rid of some of your personnel in here. We can discuss that at some point, but I'm really not a public administrative guy. But it's obvious that there's a whole lot of hierarchy within Volusia County that could probably be scaled back or eliminated.
And the other issue is the last contract we came here, it was a bad time and we didn't have the money to do it. Then we found out that millions was given back from corrections to the county. So it's kind of one of those things that, yeah, sure, maybe it's a bad time now, but you guys said it was a bad time last time too.
And even if there's not a mandate from the governor's office, you guys got to run the jail because they're going to drop people off here. It's not like it used to be when we had a low-level misdemeanor case, let's say, where you guys would get them at the back door, you look at me and roll your eyes, and before I could get out of the parking lot, you were doing an NTA, because correctional officers could do the notices to appear for arrested persons. Well, now, a lot of the judiciary has been mandated to hold people at least until first appearance in a lot of cases. Some other cases.
Any violent offense.
Any violent offense, yes. And that could be some BS, two drunks getting a pushing match out in front of Razzles. They have to be held till first appearance. And then even in those cases that are held, the judiciary is having to hold them even longer depending on what the facts of the case are. So, you guys are going to have to operate. And, you're going to have to meet certain standards, the model jail standards, and you still are facing inmate lawsuits for various things. Because, I know how it is. If you're at corrections, somebody looked at you wrong, we'll file a lawsuit. So that's what, you guys are going to have to maintain some type of workforce here. And if you, now, again, maybe with this upcoming property tax thing, maybe everybody will be in the same boat. But you still got counties that are making more money, and this could also be a preemption, start pushing people out. They may start deciding on their own to migrate south. This isn't like it was 30 years ago where you were going to stay in one place. And they're all state retirement, so they can all go and pick up their retirement where it left off. So I've beat that horse a lot. So uniform cleaning and Article 20, they would like that to be increased to $32 per week. I don't know that, with the current uniform situation, that's what they would like it to be. If we go to Article 21, the shoe allowance, $100 isn't buying you a whole lot of shoes anymore. I'll use myself because I don't know what anybody else's situation is. I have to wear orthopedic shoes. They do make boots and stuff. Excuse me, but they're like $175 a shot. And a good solid boot that's gonna last you a year or two is still is on the upper end, closer to 200. And best practice, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys on the other side of the table have been in the military, but you always got 2 pair of boots and you change them out every other day. Because that's just best practice to let them air out. Otherwise you wind up with all kinds of fungus and nasty stuff, particularly when you're doing showers and all that. No changes in 22. No changes in 23. In 24, basically if they're sent out of town, they want to have an unmarked county vehicle or a rental vehicle to transport them there. If they have to use their own personal car, they want, or excuse me, if they, in 2403, they want the per diem provided in advance, gets to pay for their meals. Some of these guys are running on very slim personal budgets. And then if we go over here to Appendix A, it's just the retention stuff for the, what do you call it? The you know, I'm sorry, is there?
No.
Oh. Should you decide to agree with us and push off a bonus, a retention agreement, a retention bonus, they have the agreement and it's been updated and modified to include information about a $2,000 bonus. When we compared these other units for jail populations, currently you're running between 1,200 and 1,500 on a daily basis. Is that correct? That's for the daily basis. You're half of Orange County, but Orange County also has significantly more personnel. You're running the same as like Pasco, close to Marion, and you have more than Seminole. They have 900 a day, and you guys are running 12 to 1,500 a day. So they have a lot less than you guys, and they're making significantly more. And I understand their tax base is a lot more than yours as well. But just to compare, you know, the actual things that your employees are dealing with, the numbers.
All right, does anybody have any questions on our side? I think you did a good job explaining it. We get it. Obviously, we're gonna have to take some time to go through it and cost it out. So let us go ahead and start putting that in place, and then we'll circle back and go ahead and set up a slate of parking sections.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you for hearing us.
the